Well, in NC State this week, however, I would best say it, is the most dangerous team that we've played on a one-play-at-a-time basis, or the most one-play explosively dangerous team that we've played in all three phases. That is, they're a constant threat on every special teams play to change the game on one play. They have a long history of blocking punts. They're at it again this year. They've blocked 3. In Darrell Blackman, they have a very dynamic punt return man. Had a return for a touchdown last week. So in that phase, there's a concern about 1, getting it protected, and 2, getting it covered. They can change the game in one play there. That's nothing new. That's been their MO here for quite some time. We just haven't had to deal with it for the last 2.5 seasons. Offensively, this is certainly the best two-back stable of runners that we faced in Brown and Baker. Both of them are terrific players. We're very familiar with them from way back when. Brown is averaging up something in excess of 6 yards per carry, which is phenomenal. And he's a size back, but he's really a make-em-miss-em back. If he was a baseball pitcher, he'd be throwing a lot of curveballs and sliders. Tony Baker just comes at you fast and furious. He's got a lot of movement skills. He is tough. He is strong. He's a very, very good player. Each back in his own right is a 30 or 35 carry per game player. They just divide it up amongst themselves. The receiving corps as a group would probably be the fastest relay team that we would play against this year. Is there Calvin Johnson in the group? Not likely, but as a group, they could put 4 out there that probably would outrun any 4 that we've played against this year. The 2 defensive tackles, Tank and DeMario, they're really good, really good. And they got speed off the edge like they always had. So there's, on any one particular play, I would certainly say that they're a greater threat to do something to disrupt the game as a team on any one particular play. So that's a big challenge for our team. Certainly from a focus standpoint, that every player on every unit on every play has got to be on his game on that play, or else we're likely to have a play that could be just one of those few plays in the game that makes it very difficult to win the game with. So we got a lot to deal with here. We're doing a little bit better than we've done. We still got a lot of things we have to do better. Started to address those things yesterday, and hopefully the message is getting through. Well, we're moving along a little bit with them all the time, but this particular group over there on offense, they all got to keep up with each other. You know, if you add something in that involves another protection, a new protection or whatever, then you know, there's 3 of those other rookies who got to learn the protection. So it's not just Jamil that's under consideration in how we move along with certain things. We've talked about other players of this nature. Another player from his school has been this way, Jeffrey, that certain players demonstrate a capacity to take their experiences and really move along pretty quickly with them. And other players, it just takes longer with them. And sometimes they appear to be the more athletically gifted player. But that's just the starter. Those athletic gifts have to be there to even put them on the starting line. But where they progress from there really applies to a lot of the intangibles. You know, I guess it applies in anything. You can put 2 fairly intelligent young people in their first grade class, and just they're both going to end up being equally sharp, but at one particular point, one child learns to read faster than the other. And the same thing happens with football players. Some guys just get it faster than others do. Jason's had a fine season. It's really nice to see for him because, you know, after that first season that he had, pretty productive for a true rookie. I think everybody, certainly Jason on the top of the list, had very high expectations. what the future might bring. And I'd say more so, to use your phrase there, Doug, more so in his case, that everything hasn't worked out the way he might have expected, or those of us working with him might have expected. That he's gotten to the point where he can really show what he can do and have the satisfaction of doing that. And even that was almost, as we talked about last Friday, that was almost in place again last week. We're coming off good outings at Duke and East Carolina and Maryland. Then all of a sudden, last Thursday morning in our coaches meeting, we're making plans for the situation if he can't stay in the game. And fortunately, it turns out that he has his career best game. But I was even thinking that at that time Thursday morning. Well, I'll be darned. Here he's just had three of the better games that he's had since he's been here, and now we're talking about the same issue. Is he going to be able to play in the game or not? Shoulder. Okay, which really didn't show up until Tuesday, as I mentioned, Friday and Tuesday during the team meeting. He suddenly had to leave the meeting out of discomfort, and finished the game the week before, practiced on Monday, and then all of a sudden on Tuesday there was a flare-up. So, but it worked out well. He's fine. He practiced well yesterday, and would expect that he'll roll through this last month as a very important player. Chris, as you would note by having been to any of the practices or just plain having conversation with Chris, that he's wired pretty hot. He's a total effort player in all phases of things: training, practice, games. And when he first started practicing here, it was like a dog chasing cars. It's just all effort, but he's learned how to direct and focus that effort towards the things that are actually going to result in performance. And I think that's probably what he was referring to when he was saying that. And he's got a plan now for everything. This is what I have to get better at today, or these are the things I'm looking for in the game.